Hi, everyone. It's Reverend Donna and Dr. Deb, and we're here today to talk with you about how each one of us can make a difference in all of our circumstances, and more importantly, the differences we make to people around us, too. Sometimes we think, what can one person do? I'm just one person. I can't change the course of a whole group of people. I can't change something that's happening in my neighborhood. I can't change what's happening in my country. I can't change what's happening in my own home. But what we forget is how importantly we can choose how we react to a situation. And we can choose to put out kindness. We can choose to put out love. We can choose to work out a way that can shift energy to bring about a greater energy. What do you think, Deb, about that?
I think you're so right, especially in the chaotic times we're living in right now. And there's so much division, and oh, people are grumbling and they're nervous and they're anxious, but just one little thing that you can do. And that's being, of course, kind to another human being. And I'll give you an example. I was on a very long line in the post office trying to mail packages for Christmas one year. And by the time I finally got up and it was my turn to the mail person who was going to take my package, they said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm all right." I said, "How are you?" He said, "Sparkling." And I just looked at it because here was like this big, bulky, the handsome, husky man. And he just looked at me and said, "Sparkly." And it cracked me up. And I guess my laughter was so loud, it cracked up everybody else on the long, long line. And it completely shifted the vibration. And I truly believe why that's important to shift our vibration and raise it is because not only does it change our own physiology and boosts our immune system, but it really is a ripple effect or a domino effect, or what some people call the butterfly effect. Whether it's smiling, at an old person that you're walking by, or recognizing a child that's, playing, or maybe someone who's just a neighbor and they're alone, and to go over and say, "Hi, how you doing?" Talk about the day and, "Do you need any help?" It's really being service to other people outside of yourself. That's only one person that makes a huge difference in somebody else's life. What do you think about that?
I think it's true because sometimes we don't recognize how powerful a kind word, a thoughtful statement, or a prayer, just a quiet prayer being sent to somebody else, because it's energy. And we have all noted on the flip side where somebody coming in with a lower energy
Oh,
can
yeah.
change everything in a room of people. We've all experienced being at a party, or recently I was at a restaurant eating. Someone came in, everybody was happy, everybody was fine. Someone came over, they were upset about something, dropped a whole lot of negative energy, and walked away, leaving everyone else to
Yeah.
be lowered
Oh,
in their energy, right?
true.
So what we have to look at is if we've experienced coworkers, family members, or just people around us, how often that's contagious that we get then grumbly. We get angry, we get frustrated too, and we think, wow, we're just sending that energy forward. But we could instead, in a circumstance like that, pray, shift energy,
Hmm.
make a joke, talk to everybody, break that field of energy that's low to something that's higher. And generosity and kindness. We're seeing one good image of that in that pay it forward. We had a lot of people for a while paying it forward. They would pay for someone's, takeout order who's behind them. They would do something kind in front of somebody when they got up there. They didn't know a kindness was done. That was a great thought. And we need to keep that kind of thing going, not necessarily just with money, but with the ideas of us giving the thoughts and recognizing, I think, that we have control of our circumstance in the regard of how we react to it. Can't control everything, but we can control how we react.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. Because when you give to another, not only are they receiving the benefit of your generosity and your kindness, but you yourself are receiving the benefit.
That's right.
It does it. It just lifts you up. Donna, do you remember September 12th?
I
Remember the
do.
day after September 11th? Because the whole America united. We all
Yeah.
were Americans. There was no division. We
None.
all felt respect. I remember people opening doors for me and everyone like saying hello and really truly being
Mhm.
kind.
It's true.
I think we need to just pray for the unification once again.
I agree. I agree. And I think when we say, how can we change this? We see this big, overwhelming. But we saw 9/11, but by 9/12, we were changing it. We
Yes, we
were
were.
being reactive in a different way. We were being kinder. And I think that makes such a difference. I remember that one poem that I loved where starfish had been pulled up from the ocean onto the shoreline and they were struggling, and a lady was out there and she would pick up a starfish and throw it back in. And a guy comes up and he says to her, "Why are you doing this? There's so many. It's not going to make a difference." And she bends down, picks one up, and she goes, "Made a difference for that one."
Mhm.
That's what we have to remember, that we maybe not want to see the whole of a problem or the whole of how do we change it all. What can we do right now in this moment to change one thing, to change one person's thoughts for something better, to help one animal, or to just change in ourselves and make a difference in a piece of ourselves that is kind of cast aside? I think that's what we have to think about and pray about, don't you?
Absolutely. You know what? Close your eyes for a second, and I'm going to
Okay.
ask the viewers to close your eyes. It'll just be a minute, or maybe even less. Take a deep breath in and release. And a second deep breath in and release. And we're going inside, becoming very present and very centered. And allow your higher mind to show you, what acts of kindness can I do today in my neighborhood, perhaps in my workplace, in my family, or with my friends. And see yourself doing one of those things now. And as you see it, feel the feelings of the person that's benefiting from your generosity of kindness. Feel it. And now feel how you feel about being kind and loving and generous. And that was just one act. And you can do so many others. Each and every time you do an act of kindness, you feel better and better. And the more you feel better, the more acts of kindness you do. And so it is. And on the count from 1 to 3, eyes open, wide awake, feeling so good and knowing that you've made a difference. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, wide awake. It's that easy.
You know, it is that easy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you had us doing that, one thing that I saw, which I think I would like to share, many of us have been in candlelit services for memorials, for a holiday, and you remember holding that candle and you take that light and you share that light. And pretty soon it's all illuminated and it's beautiful to see.
Mm.
We have to remember how bright our lights really are. We can help light somebody else's. on the
That's
way.
so true. That's so true. Well, thank you, Donna. Spirit speaks once again. Bye bye now.
Bye, everyone.